Welcome to William Creek. Off to the left is the pub and the self-serve fuel station. We're just pulling into the car park here, which is out the front of the caravan and camping ground. You go into the pub to actually check in, get the relevant paperwork. They've got brochures, the beer. Anyway, we're here. You'll see these people on the left. They're walking along and they're stopped in their footsteps, checking out mighty Eddie the Everest, continuing to turn heads and stop people in their tracks for well over 7 years now as we travel this fantastic country of ours. You'll see here that as they walk past, they turn back and even cop another look at him. I always have to have a smile when it happens. And right over to the very left-hand side, you'll see this white Toyota wagon. And it looks like it's been a bit of a upside down Miss Jane. Obviously had a bad experience when out on the Oodnadatta track at some stage.
Hello and welcome to Audrey the Icon Adventures. I'm Connie.
And I'm Daryl.
And this is Audrey the Icon.
It was a nice short drive for us this morning, only 40 odd Ks from where we camped. And it's a beautiful day, a bit of cloud around. The flies are wear a net to be comfortable level. William Creek, there's an airport, a pub and a caravan park. We get to watch all the aircraft come and go. We're planning to go for a drive this morning after we have some morning tea. We'll see what we can see and get back to you when we do. Bye for now. The reason we've driven to William Creek is because early this year there was a late wet season in Queensland. Cyclones, lots of rain, floods, the whole lot. And when that happens, to the level that it happened this year, the water heads southwest. And when it heads southwest, you may recall back in episode 1 where I showed you a picture of a sign on the side of the road that said Lake Eyre Basin Catchment. That's right, all that water heads for Lake Eyre. Well, here we are quite a few months after all that flooding and cyclone action. We thought it only appropriate that we get out there and have a good look at the lake while it's got so much water in it, and hopefully with lots of bird life. We've got camp all set up here, so we're heading down the Oodnadatta track a bit, and then we turn left onto the road that goes out to Halligan Point. Now, we'd heard that this 67 kilometres of road, 63 kilometres of road is rough, very corrugated, because there's so many people using it at the moment to get out there to have a look at the water. We come off of the Oodnadatta track. There's a little information bay just here on the left. Our tyres were let down a bit already. I turned around and I'd said to Connie, it's going to be rough, so let's stop, let the tyres down now and make it more comfortable for us. And I'm so glad we took the 10 minutes to do that, because then we got going. We got up to the speed that Eddie is comfortable at on any sort of corrugation, and away we went, and we had a pretty good drive out. We caught and passed a few people. 2 ways to drive corrugations: the really slow or the faster method. And I opt for the faster method, which usually means it's much more comfortable and you actually get somewhere in a timely manner. We went past these people that were doing all they could, driving off the track to get away from the corrugations, and I don't know that they actually got all the way to the end. On the way out, there's a beautiful spot up high. I don't remember the exact elevation, and it gives you a beautiful view out over all of the, I think it's called ironstone, all this black rock, and out over the lake. Just the environment is so vastly different to anything you expect to see when you're out in a desert. Nice parking area down the end. You can actually pay to camp out there, though they do say don't take camper trailers or vans or anything like that. It's meant to be just tent camping. We made it out. 60 k's of varying corrugations from extremely rough through to baby bum smooth. We've been out here for a little while, taken some photos, had some lunch, enjoyed the peacefulness of it all. Lake Eyre. There is some of it. We're at Halligan Bay. Paid our day fee to come out. It was $13.90. Got to do it online. You can't buy the permit at the pub at William Creek. Bumble your way through that haphazard system that they have, and you can come out here for the day. It's various bird life here. Seen some gulls, as in seagulls. We thought, oh, I should have bought the old hot chips. And this is looking across Halligan Bay here. And Halligan Bay, as I get out here to the posted lookout, is around to the right here. Just leaving this all on wide angle so you can hopefully see it all. You see that the water has actually receded a bit from where it was. I think it just moves around like the tides do. I don't know. Somebody out there watching this may know if that's correct or not. Not allowed to go onto the lake. We went, well, if it's green, that's not the lake. So we did walk down there a little bit, but nowhere near the water's edge or even to the salt. We stayed back away from that. We walked this is walking around to the south of the parking spot at Halligan Bay. We walked around to the north a fair ways because there was a little island close, well, close-ish, that had some bird life on it that we just wanted to see if we can get a bit closer photo of. And no pelicans over here. I think they're all over on Pelican Island, which is way over the other side of the beautiful Lake Eyre. We've got a fantastic day. We've seen a few flights over it. We're doing a flight tomorrow, so hopefully we can get some footage of that if we're allowed to. And if the day is half as beautiful as it is today, it'll be spectacular. I said, it was a rough drive to get out here. We just let our tyres right down to about 25 or so all round. And we found a speed that worked really well for us, and away we went. Both of us very, very glad that we put the effort in to get here. I've only seen water in Lake Eyre from the air, from an aircraft, 6 years ago, and that was when the waters were receding. So the opportunity to bring Connie out here and for us to both to get this close to the water on Halligan Point at Halligan Bay here, fantastic. So glad we made it. We went out, we had a look at the lake, we took the photos, we did some little video action and had a good look around, probably spent a couple of hours there all up. We saw the seagulls, you know, like you should have had the fish and chips there, and yet we're hundreds of kilometres away from any coastal beach. Then we started making the drive back. And again, just push along at a speed that was comfortable for us. We pushed our way back along all the corrugations and looking for the smoothest spot we could. Even so, it's still rough and it's all part of going bush and exploring. We got back to camp and what a great day. We'd finally gotten Connie to be able to see water in Lake Eyre. I had the privilege of doing that back in 2019 when I did my Ayers Rock 8-day dash. It was a great little trip out to Halligan Bay and back today. Thoroughly enjoyed it. As I said before, the landscape was incredibly different to what you expect. So this is our first of 3 viewings that we're going to have of water in Lake Eyre as part of this holiday.
Morning everyone. We're here in the campground / caravan park at William Creek. It's about 7 in the morning. Mama sun's just poked over the horizon. That's the windsock for one of the runways here. As you can see, no breeze. There's a few birds flying past. I don't know if the camera's going to get that. A bit of noise in the background. Sounds like earthwork machinery already. Oh, focus, there we go. I'll just turn around. There's a few people camped here last night. Everyone was really quiet, very polite, and it was full moon 2 nights ago, so you can still see some lovely colours in the sky as the sun comes up now. Come around this way to make it complete for you. So we're in the non-powered section out the back. $35 for the night. Good showers, good toilets. We're getting ready to go for a fly. We'll share that with you in a little while. Bye.
Possibly not the most comfortable aircraft lounge I've ever sat at. It is definitely the most scenic. Here I am taking a photo of a galah up in the tree there, and he just seemed to be so happy to enjoy the morning sun. We're getting ready to hop on board the old US mail plane that's been converted into tourist operator. Because the lake is over a certain depth, all passengers have to wear their life vest. We're all strapped in now. There's just a single row of seats down each side, therefore everybody gets a window seat. We've had the safety briefing, being that if anything happens, pile out the door at the back. We were informed that there would be no in-flight catering today, no complimentary drinks or food service. There would be in-flight entertainment, being the pilot providing quite a descriptive and in-depth narration of our flight path and what we were able to view during our flight. Once in the air, we climbed up to about 500 feet for the cruise out to the lake. At 500 feet, we were able to see the small sand dunes running in a north-south direction. On our way out to the lake, we were able to see just how expansive the ironstone area is out there right up to the lake's edge. We've just gone feet wet, being we're over the lake now. We're flowing out over ABC Bay here. We've got Halligan Point on the left where we were yesterday, and we could even see some people that were camped here for the night. We fly out over this small group of islands and then bank our way down to the south. We're slowly climbing up to 2,500 feet. On our left is the Elliott Price Conservation Park. Because it was an early morning flight, the water was so smooth, almost good enough to be a mirror of the clouds up above. When we bank west, we head over the Babbage Peninsula, do a half a loop there before continue west here, and we've got the Boynton headland on our left. And then do a anti-clockwise circuit over Belt Bay, just to give us a nice look at all the coastline, before we then continue on heading back to the airstrip. While we're enjoying this beautiful view of Belt Bay, I'll just take a moment to say our flight was about an hour long, and cutting and shutting and squishing it all so it's only a few minutes in this particular episode was a real challenge. We've made it back onto dry land now, and as we head along here, we get another beautiful view of all the north-south running sand dunes here. We pass over the track leading out to Halligan Point, and from up here I can easily see the corrugations. Unfortunately the phone is just not good enough to show that to you. We both enjoyed the flight. It cost a lot of money. We booked it about 3 to 4 weeks in advance because with this much water in Lake Eyre, you just know that getting a seat on an aircraft is going to be a difficult thing to do at short notice. If you get the opportunity to take a flight, I'd encourage you to do so because it's probably the best way to see water in Lake Eyre, especially as the level keeps retreating from where it was when we were out there. Anyway, that's viewing number 2 of water in Lake Eyre for us this holiday, and viewing number 3 will be tomorrow for us. Well, we've just pulled over at another one of these fantastic places, Lake Eyre South. No water here because Lake Eyre itself is not full enough to overflow. A bit damp in places, and that's about it. There's some puddles of water and torn up track just coming in here off the Oodnadatta track. Nice information board down there with plenty to read. That's the track just out there. This part of the Oodnadatta track from William Creek down, absolutely fantabulous. They've been grading and rolling it. Very easy to just sit along on 80 kilometres an hour and just knock the K's off. So we're stopping here, we're having some lunch, and we will keep pushing down to Maree and beyond this afternoon. All going well. Beautiful day. Hope you're enjoying the trip with us. We just found another sighting. It's not even on our maps. You can see the mound where the railway line used to be. Just here. And this one is in the best condition we've seen. Like, look at that. You can see the veranda covering here. I'm doing my best to ignore the graffiti and garbage that people have written on it, as they feel they need to. As we drove up to it, what we noticed about this one to make it so different, and I'll just get around here so I can show you. You can see down the end there, it's got like a veranda. Up top, the roof is probably 90% there. We're very, very surprised. So you can see the double chimney there in the middle, that's only just above roof level. It's got another one of these round deals at the bottom there, and I'm wondering if that was potentially a well and it's been covered up when the site was shut down. One of the other sites had 2 of those. Yeah, this one's quite impressive. More graffiti crap, unfortunately. Yeah, there's another little veranda area here, just on the side. Quick flash of it. I'm not into promoting people that do the wrong thing. And see the walls are broken out in places, be it naturally or destructively. It's impressive to see how the walls are just all built out of the local stone, and then a crude mortar to hold them together, and then all inside there's another crude mortar put over to smooth the walls off to make it very homely as such in there. So look at that, it's still got some of the downpipe and guttering on it. So this particular siding, it's, I've got to think where we are now, probably 30-ish k's out from Maree. fantastic. And what a view to boot. It's actually, as you can see, patchy cloud cover today, so we've been watching the mountains change as we drive along with the colours of them, just when the cloud is over and the cloud is not. So, fabulous spot. We made it to our destination a while ago now and went for a little walk. This is on a private station. It's about 54 kilometres north of Maree. Maree is the place where the Birdsville and the Oodnadatta tracks join. So we heard that there was a hot spring here, and where the water comes out of the ground it's scalding hot, and we found a spot just here where they got all the chairs, etc. So it's just the right temperature to put the feet in and have a little dip for a little while. A little further down you could probably sit right in there if you're happy to, and then further along again it's freezing cold. Beautiful spot. Yesterday we made the trip down the Oodnadatta track from William Creek to Maree. Filled up with, didn't fill up, put some fuel in, and then we came down to Moolarena station. And today we're heading back out to Maree so we can head down towards the Flinders, being our goal for this holiday. This morning we got up and we drove out to Level Post Bay. It's about 45 kilometres from the station camp. $10 honesty box there, a couple of toilets, a lovely hot spring and water hole. Anyway, the drive out to Level Post Bay was pretty good for most of it. Some of it was a little bit rough and had you holding on. It was great to go out there and see Lake Eyre from the other side. I think it's Madigan Gulf or Madigan Bay, something along those lines. And as I say, it was great to come and have a look at it. For us, we thought it was better than going to Halligan Point. And you didn't have to pay the ridiculous day fee to do it that SA wants to charge you. And as you can see out here, big cattle property, lots and lots of red stone, a little bit of greenery, not much. We've only seen one herd of cattle around a feeder a while back from where we are, just here on the border of the station. Make the drive back in from Moolarena station and you're greeted by the old railway bridge here at the top end of Maree. We head into town and there's a nice little area to pull over, and there's these three old locomotives. Maree is the junction of the Birdsville and the Oodnadatta tracks. Here's the sign and it's shut. The Strzelecki track meets up at Lyndhurst, and Inaminka is still cut off due to all the floodwaters. Connie gets a first view of the northern Flinders Ranges. From here, the colours just get better. We're not even into the Flinders Ranges proper yet, and we've already scored our first wedge-tail eagle sighting. Well, we've made it to Parachilna Gorge. We drove in only a couple of kilometres tops. Found this lovely dry creek bed. Yeah, I know, we're camped in a creek bed. It's not going to flood. Could be famous last words though, so we'll see how we go. Anyway, and the reason we came to Parachilna Gorge, you might have got a little flash of it then, is this beautiful sunset burning in on the colours of these rocks. Just fantastic. I'll just pan around so you see the whole deal of it. Some people way up there. There's some a little ways from us where we are here. So none of us should be annoying anyone. Looking back this way is pretty much to the northeast. So the sun should be coming up somewhere around there for us tomorrow, which again, more colours from a different direction on these rocks. And this is just the bit where we're camped, people. I've told Connie about this for the last 7 years when I was last here, just how fantastic it is. We've made it.
and we're going to be here for anywhere from 3 to 10 days now in this area. So you'll see lots of little tidbits coming from us. So it's just fantastic to have finally made it here. It was meant to be a 2,500 kilometre journey. It's been well over 4,000, just with road closures and the rest of it. And it would have been, at a guess, at least a third of that was on the dirt. Eddie got through it quite well. Audrey, yeah, she still leaks a little bit of dust in a couple of little places. Nothing like she used to. So the modifications and the sealing work I've been doing on her, definitely paying off. So I'll empty her out over the next few days and have a proper look at all the other known dust leaking points. So be prepared for more of these sunrise, sunset, gorgeous views here at the top part of the central Flinders Ranges. I've got to go back there again for another look because it's just so beautiful, people. There you are. Good night, and we'll catch up with you a little bit later on. Bye-bye.